Hello and welcome to Friday Art with me, Kate Field. I release art tutorials every Monday and Friday and a little podcast on a Wednesday. I hope you are well. This is going to be quite a quick one really, because I think sometimes we just need to stop and just do something because it's good for our mental well-being and just because it's fun. So all you're going to need is some watercolour paper, something like a Sharpie pen, and some watercolour paints. Let's go. Oh, sometimes we do just need to slow down a little bit. But when we want to do some art, we might just overthink it. I know I do this frequently, and this is one of the exercises that I really love doing, and it helps to calm my mind, and it's great fun. Watercolour paints, any type of watercolour paint, Sharpie pen or a acrylic marker, something like that, and some watercolour paper. It needs to be quite thick. This is 300 grams per square metre. You could use wallpaper lining paper if you want to. And we are going to do squiggly lines and some circles, and we're not going to think about it too much. We're just going to go from one corner to the other. Just, again, absolutely not thinking about it. Even just making this first mark can be a little bit daunting sometimes, but that's all we're going to do. You want to have it so you've got some spaces, because these are the ones that we're going to work on. Just lovely little squiggly line. You might have seen other people do this because it's just such a lovely thing to do. And then we're just going to soften the edges. We're going to like putting a little, like a blob really, in the shape. So just sort of thickening some of these edges. And again, it doesn't matter if it goes a bit wrong. It doesn't matter. I do have a little bit of a mantra that is the mark you make on the page is the correct mark. And if you have that kind of philosophy for this little exercise, then I think you'll enjoy it more. Because we can get so stressed about things being perfect, can't we? And I don't think that's helpful. So this line is a bit thicker than I thought it was going to be, but that's okay. Just going to soften that corner as well. So I'm just using a very inexpensive marker pen here, but I have used these before, and I know that when we add the water it won't run, and that's the key. Sometimes I do want the black lines to run, but not for this one. Sort of putting in these little shapes. You don't have to do all of them. You could just do some and see what that looks like. And you could take your time on this, or you can do it super quick. Again, this is for you. And I think that often with our lives can become a little bit stressful. We need to give ourselves time to stop and think about things like, what's my favourite colour? Things like that. There we go, like that. Thank you so much for your lovely messages. It's been a very wonderful time in many ways for us as a family, with my daughter getting married. And thank you so much for all your kind wishes. It's been really lovely. It's been so lovely having the family together, and with my mum and dad being very much part of the celebrations. So can you see? I'm just sort of doing. I'm just going to turn this round this way, just so it's kind of easier for me to make these shapes. Again, it's definitely not perfect. But the nice thing about this sort of exercise, as we go around the corner like that, is that once we add the paint, and we let it to dry, you can then go into it more and add some more details, or you can just leave it as it is. Entirely up to you. So kind of doing this little shape here, which is really nice. And then when it comes to the colours that you want to use, again, there are no rules. You use whatever makes you happy. And oh, so I've got that there, like that. I could add more black when the paint is dry, but at the moment I'm just going to leave it as it is. So I've got my LIANG watercolour paints. I really love them, and those of you who've been watching me for some time will know that I use them a lot. They're very inexpensive, they're very vibrant, and I just like using them. I think they're good, they're great. I'm going to use a very soft brush, and I've got some water. I'm going to be using blues and purples, I think. I'm going to start off with this sort of turquoisey blue. I'm going to put this just like that. I'm going to take my water spray, give that a bit of a squirt. Again, you can do this really quickly. Let's just add some darker blue. Doesn't matter if it goes over the edges. That's not important. Picking up a bit more on the turquoise. A bit more on the royal blue, or cobalt blue it is, isn't it? Lovely. Same colour as the dress that I wore for my daughter's wedding. A little bit more of the turquoise up there. Adding just water. Move the paint around like this. I'm just going to do another little bit of a squirt, just so that again, the paint moves. It doesn't matter if it goes over the edges, that is not important. And I am going to leave that to dry. While we're leaving that one to dry, I'm going to do another one, slightly different design, still keeping this idea of squiggly lines, just having a bit of fun really. Like this. Again, I'm going to soften some of these kind of corners, just to sort of emphasize the shape really. And you can add sort of patterns before you put the colour on, which is what I'm going to do in just a moment. And yeah, if you like things like Zentangles and that kind of stuff, you could add some of those sorts of patterns. You could just do as I do and make them up. Just do your own, make up your own colours, make up your own patterns. So I think that sometimes we can get a little bit bogged down with the rules, and I'm not very good with rules. I also like the idea that we can just see where the line takes us. And as with all of these ideas and doodling, we can always go back and change something or add something. You know, we don't have to just stick with what we have. We can change things around. We can make up our own rules. So I will do some more on those, but I just want to show you what else we can do. I'm just going to put in some very simple circles. It's a bit like peas in a pod. Actually quite like that. I quite like the idea of peas in a pod. Let's put some more peas in the pod. some small, some big, like this, and then you can just sort of colour in the or shade in the edges like that. So you're having different sort of marks on these, and we can add dots. You could colour in the shade in the background of other things as well. Let's just do another idea of a pattern that you could do. Nice kind of swirly pattern like this. Again, you can soften some of the edges as you go. And while you're doing these sorts of things, you could have total peace and quiet. I quite often will work in silence, or I could listen to a story or a podcast, or I listen to some music. There we go. In my podcast next week, in my Wednesday Wandering, which I have already recorded because I will be in Italy, I talk about Hildegard of Bingham, and I absolutely love her music, so I will quite often listen to her music. So I talk a little bit about her in the podcast next Wednesday. So you can see I'm just sort of adding a few ideas to this one while the other one is drying. I'll add a bit more. We'll come back to that, and then I'll put a different colour on there. So I added a few more little doodly bits, and I'm going to add my watercolours to this. I'm going to do it in a slightly different way. Oh, I'm just going to give this a bit of a squirt. I'm going to be using my oranges and reds and yellows. So my warm colours, starting with my yellow. Again, like I said before, you use whatever colour you want. And I'm just going to do this a little bit more carefully. But you could do it in the same way as I did the blue one. You just kind of splodge everything over if you want to. That's fine. Absolutely is. But I just wanted to show you a different way, really. And then, as always, so I always say, you then do your own thing. Just putting that one like that, and then I'm just going to add a bit of orange into the yellow, like that. I'm going to keep to these colours, but when it's dry, you could add different colours. You could add felt tip pens or colouring pencils. You can add things to it. But I love these warm colours. Blending in, but I'm kind of keeping to the insides of the shape. Like this. Because I think that's quite fun. And the thing with these sort of doodles is you're just enjoying the process. You're not trying to create something beautiful. There's no other aim except the joy of putting pen to paper and then paint and enjoying the colour. I like that. I think we need to allow ourselves to do that. I love these paints. The vibrancy is just gorgeous. But you might want to do this with very muted colours. Yeah, that would work as well. Soft greys and browns, or that kind of thing. Or you could try a whole different sets of colours. Do full-on rainbow if you wanted to. But don't be afraid to try something new. You see that it just has a different sort of feel to the blue one. I'll show you both of them at the end, and then you can say which one you prefer or which one you're going to have a go with. Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for all of you who take time to comment. I really do appreciate it. It is lovely. And if you want to join the Facebook groups, you're very welcome. So there's two. There's Friday Art and Doodle Club, which is the general one. Completely free to join. Please answer the questions, then I know that you're a real person. And it's just a place where we can share ideas, tell me what you're doing, ask questions, all that kind of stuff. And then there's Open Studio, which is for anyone who's doing any of the courses. So if you're doing my Quiet Path, if you're doing that one, again, they're available on YouTube, completely free. I think I've gone up to 22. I think I'm on. There will be 30 in all. And then I've got various other courses as well. So that's the other Facebook group if you want to join that one. I'll put all the links below. See, I'm just sort of playing with this colour. Not sure, I'll just do yellow on that one. Leave these to dry and then I'll show you them both at the end. I'll come back to this one. This is all dry now. Didn't take too long. It's still quite warm here. We have had some torrential rain. I just realised I haven't done a weather update for you. We have the glorious sunshine has stopped and we've got torrential rain, which has been great for the garden and for the fields. I'm just going to put in some little white dots, just using an acrylic pen, just a few little scatters. You could do some silver or gold, that kind of thing. You can decorate those. This is something you could come back to. But I thought one of the other things that we could do here is I'm going to change the colours and I'm going to come out of this space. I'm going to be using this moss green mixed with the turquoise. Greeny blue. Oh, there's a bit of fluff on the end there. I'm going to go into these spaces here. Again, just very loose. Just coming out like this. I just wanted to show you what happens when you add to the paint. You have to be a little bit careful because the watercolour paint will react. It's not like acrylic that will just be fixed. So I'm just going to turn that round there. Again, picking up on the green. Just that tiny, it's a bit too much. Just want to... Can you see how that blue is picked up? It's gone into the space. That's what I wanted. That kind of idea. With this one, let's just turn it back around. I think it looks better that way round. I will leave that one to dry and pop that one into my sketchbook. Let's just get the other one, because I am actually very, well, I do like that one, but I do rather like this one as well. Now that it's dry, I could do some other bits. I could write some words in that and have it as part of an art journal. But so many ideas. I hope you enjoyed that, and I would love to know in the comments what colours you are going to use. And if you want to see some more, look at this one, because I think you will like it, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.